The job portfolio is the heart of Omni and shows the status of all jobs currently being executed by the organization. At top here is a series of KPIs related to the overall project portfolio. It shows the percentage progress of all your projects, the budgets allocated to all projects, and the amount spent for all projects. The amount invoiced and the amount outstanding out of that invoiced is also another KPI under the head income or revenue. The team KPI shows the members or the people in your organization that are currently allocated to different projects. The issues KPI shows the number of unplanned issues that are currently open and require attention from a program management perspective. The next 6 months KPI shows some notable events that are scheduled to occur within the next 6 months. These include planned project start dates, planned project end dates, and planned activity start and end dates. On the left panel here, I can see various jobs that are currently being executed. If I were to know the name of a job, I can search for it by name and it shows up on the left panel. As I choose the job, the details of the job are being displayed on the central panel. These include the critical issues that are currently open for this job, the people allocated to this job, the different machines, equipments assigned to this job, as well as the subcontractors and vendors who are currently working as part of the activities in this job. Clicking on More expands and shows other resources that are currently not visible directly. On the top here are the various activities that have been planned for this particular job. Note that the planned quantities of work as well as the actual quantity of work performed for each activity are also displayed.
The activities that are partly or completely completed are shown in a darker shade of blue, and the activities that remain to be completed are shown in a lighter shade of blue.
For each job, various KPIs on the left side are being displayed. Some KPIs include the percentage progress of that job, amount invoiced for the job, the amount outstanding for the job, the duration of the job, the number of people assigned to that particular job, the number of activities planned for the job, as well as the number of unplanned issues that have arisen out of this job. As you drill down into the job, you get to the job dashboard. The job dashboard is a central point which shows the various metrics associated with project management related to a particular job. On top here, we see 3 critical KPIs, which include the progress of the job by invoice, the progress of the job by time, and the progress of the job by cost. Omni is unique in that it tracks the progress of specific projects in 4 dimensions. These dimensions include progress by invoice, by time, by cost, as well as progress by quantity. So in this particular project, we can see that the invoice progress is actually more than what has been expended. So in this particular case, we are actually in good shape in that we have invoiced the customer more than what we have spent. So from a project management perspective, taking a look at these 4 KPIs gives me an overall idea of how the project is performing with respect to timeliness, with respect to cash flow, as well as with respect to actual amount deliverable. Other KPIs include earned value calculation, i.e. basic cost of work scheduled and basic cost of work performed. So a ratio of this would obviously be the SPI, and Omni tracks these in real time, allowing earned value calculation to happen automatically. The chart below the earned value calculation shows the price trends of the various material that has been planned as part of this project. So from a program or from a project management perspective, one can track how much the change of the price of material has affected the project performance. A KPI below the material price trend is the project cash flow. The project cash flow shows the forecasted cash flow of the project relative to the planned activities as well as the planned invoicing. In order to begin the project, the first activity is to plan the different activities associated with the project. So Omni provides an utility which does that, and that's called the scope management utility. As you can see here, we can show or we can view the various activities that have been already planned as part of this job. The schedule of these activities, as well as the planned quantity and the duration of the activities are displayed. Activities that have already been performed also show an actual amount next to them. Clicking on the plus sign allows you to add a specific activity as a child to the activity that which you have clicked the plus on. You can add a description, you can add a unit of measure, you can add a quantity, a rate, the time period, i.e. the start date, as well as the duration can also be added. Once added, that activity will show up in the tree to the left. You can also use this utility to drag various activities and change the scheduled dates of these activities. As you can see, the scheduled date of that activity changed. One can also create dependencies between these activities by clicking on those circular points or the hold points next to the activities. Scope management utility also allows users to create Excel files that contain these various scopes and upload them directly into Omni. Omni also supports two-way integration with Microsoft Project, meaning you can create this project plan directly in Microsoft Project, upload it into Omni, work on it in Omni, and then download it back into Microsoft Project, and the changes will be reflected in your Microsoft Project plan.
The PCE, or the Project Cost Estimate module, allows users to create detailed estimates of the scopes previously created as part of your job. The PCE module is accessed through the PCE area on the job dashboard. The project cost estimate screen shows the various versions of the detailed estimates created previously. We'll get back to this in a minute. As you can see here, the various scopes that you have previously planned for the project are displayed along with the costed values of the different types of resources added to execute this particular activity. For instance, this activity, i.e. providing tack coat with bituminous emulsion, has about 154,000 square meters. In order to execute this 154,000 square meters, material worth 2,500 rupees needs to be expended. You can add or change the different resources necessary for executing this activity by clicking on the hyperlink here. This opens a screen that allows you to add the different resources necessary to execute this activity. This includes labor, material, plant and machinery, subcontractors, formworks, as well as overhead. Each of these resources may be added for a particular date, the unit of measure necessary for this resource, and their rates. If these resources already exist in your system, then the rates are pre-filled and you have the option then of editing this. For instance, in this case, the material resource has already been added. The start dates and end dates are there, and the quantity and the rates are pre-filled. By creating the various combinations of resources necessary for executing these scopes, a total cost of the project may also be arrived at. For instance, in this particular case, this particular project requires roughly 13,000 rupees to consume in a previous version of the estimate. In the current version of the estimate, 2,000 rupees is the total cost. This is more clearly delineated here, where the different versions of the estimate that you have created are displayed. Users may click on a particular version here and see the details of that particular version of the estimate. So for instance, in this case, version number 4 requires roughly 5.4 million rupees, and they are about 100% plant and machinery. Similarly, version 8 here has a material requirement of about 80% and plant and machinery requirement of about 20%. By doing this analysis, planning engineers may arrive at the most optimal estimate that performs the requisite amount of work through the most optimal combination of resources. These different versions of estimates are stored in the system, allowing you to compare across different versions of the estimate.